going to start doing that now. Can we move to the next slide? So the agenda for today, we have around an hour, a little shorter now. We will start with some welcome and opening remarks. These are the opening words from my side to just provide you an overview of what the session will be about. Then we will have some welcoming words from colleagues that are part of the initiators of the community of practice. We're happy to have here Dr. Nikolai Delman, a project leader in GIZ Pakistan. We have Dr. Maxime Souvigné, he's the team leader of the climate risk analytics team at UNUHS, and Mr. Arif Gohir, who's the executive director of GCISE. After that, we will have a short presentation of the collaboration, a project that it's ongoing between UNU and GIZ, which was the basis for the community of practice. And after that, we're going to delve a bit deeper into the community of practice itself, the objectives, what we offer, an assessment framework that we have. We will close with a short Q&A and the next steps and the links in which you can join if you're interested. Again, we will make available these recordings after the session, so in case somebody misses something, you can access them without any issue. So without further ado, I'm going to give the word to Dr. Nikolai Delman, project leader at GIZ Pakistan.
So thank you very much for having me. First of all, I want seeing the recent events taking place today, that our prayers go to the victims and the families of this recent events. Nevertheless, we try to be focused also on something very successful, and this is the launch of our resilience network. It's very important, out of our understanding, to strengthen the climate resilience, also to enable environment of exchange and to learn and to see and how to exchange also best practices. In that regard, we are very happy with the final months, so to say, of the SAR project, that we have achieved this great that we are launching this great event also with our partners, and we are highly committed also to to foster these exchanges on these kind of events also in the follow-up. And we are very grateful for our partners for their dedication and for the high level of expertise they're bringing in actually into this network. So thank you very much from my side. I'm very eager to listen also to the presentations and to the inputs. And also for me, without any further ado, I wish us all fruitful exchanges and a good and resilient web of exchanges. So thank you very much.
Section, Dr. Delman. We follow then with Dr. Maxime Souvigné, team lead at the Climate Risk Analytics in UNUHS and MCII.
Yeah, thank you, Ivo, for the introduction. And thank you, Dr. Delman, for your kind words. And I would say, dear colleague from GIZ Pakistan, but also dear colleague from the GCISE, and also colleagues from UNU, dear participants, it is really a pleasure, but also an honor to be here today and to welcome you on behalf of the United Nations University and MCI, the Munich Climate Insurance Initiative, for the launch of this Pakistan Climate Resilience Network Community of Practice. I am, but also as a team at UNU, we are very excited to be part of this collaborative effort. And I'd like to thank all our colleagues at GCISE, at GIZ, especially Sanaula for getting so many people today, but also Alvaro and Connor at UNU and everyone else that has been involved to make this possible. I think the community of practice is really and truly an exciting opportunity. I think over the next couple of years, community of practice then will serve as a space for shared learning, for practical exchange, and I hope so, a growing networks of professional committed to advance climate risk management in Pakistan. And that is what is really exciting. This is the knowledge is staying and growing in Pakistan. And it is doesn't matter if you're starting a career, if you are bringing years of experience, then really think that there will be something for you to learn and to build on. I'm very much looking forward to the contribution through the CDRFI webinar series that we are offering, but also the training of trainers activities hosted in Bonn next week. And yeah, I'm very grateful to be part of it, and then to be working alongside so many engaged partners. This is not always the case, and I think this is very important to underline that. And thank you again. And I'm looking forward to our discussions and to the collaboration ahead. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Maxime. And then last but not least, of course, we have Mr. Arif Gohir, who's also joining us with some welcoming words.
Respected Dr. Nikolai Delman, Dr. Maxim, distinguished colleagues, development partners, researchers, policy architects, and members of the civil society, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are based. It is both an honor and a moment of collective pride to inaugurate the Pakistan Climate Resilience Network, a pioneering platform jointly convened by Global Climate Change Impact Studies Center and the United Nations University. This community of practice stands as a testament to our shared vision to forge a science policy practice interface, and that is responsive, inclusive, and capable of addressing the complex and cascading risks posed by the rapidly changing climate. Today, as we confront unprecedented climatic volatility manifested through floods, droughts, and extreme events, it is abundantly clear that isolated solutions are no longer adequate. We need convergence, we need collaboration, and above all, we need coherence in our responses across disciplines, across sectors, and across scales. The Pakistan Climate Resilience Network is envisioned as a catalytic knowledge and policy platform, a space where scientific research, traditional knowledge, and policy innovation can inform and reinforce each other. It is not just a network in structure, but a community in spirit, bringing together academicians, practitioners, government institutions, the private sector, youth, and marginalized voices to co create climate solutions grounded in local realities yet informed by global best practices. The initiative is timely as Pakistan is implementing its national adaptation plan, scaling up its commitments under nationally determined contributions, and implementing early warning systems and climate smart development pathways. To do all that, we must ensure that these strategies are participatory, well informed by data, and institutionally embedded. Resilience cannot be achieved through plans alone. It must be built through shared ownership and continuous learning. At GCISC, we are deeply committed to nurturing the intellectual and institutional infrastructure that this network requires. Our collaboration, as highlighted by Dr. Maxim, with UNU strengthens this resolve. adding global perspectives, systems thinking, and interdisciplinary research rigor that is critical for long term resilience building. But let's be very clear, resilience is not an end state. It is an evolving process, a process that requires constant recalibration of our assumptions, investments in adaptive capacities, and above all, listening to the communities who live on the front lines of climate impacts. In this context, our community of practice must also function as a mirror, reflecting gaps in knowledge, blind spots in the policies, and inequalities in impact, and a compass pointing us toward more just, sustainable, and transformative climate actions. I, by virtue of this platform, invite all of you, the scientists, the local governments, youth champions, international partners, to consider this network as your own. Bring your data, your dilemmas, your doubts, and your discoveries. Together, let us build a climate resilient Pakistan, not just for the future, but starting now. I thank to United Nations University for this collaboration, GIZ Pakistan for spearheading all this process. Thankful to Dr. Dalman and Mr. Sanaullah, and also to my team at GCISE and all the participating organizations for their commitment to this cause. Let us move forward with the purpose, passion, and partnership. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mr. Gohir and Dr. Delman, Dr. Suvinia. Really very inspiring words, and indeed very much in the spirit of what we're trying to build here. I think one of the big yeah, something that has made our experience very enriching working with Pakistan is the diversity and the wealth that you have of knowledge and expertise in the country. So we're very happy, very keen to be able to support with a platform for more regular maybe exchanges and the opportunity for further collaborations within the country and the very interesting projects that are currently taking place. So I think before we get into further details into what how the community of practice aims at reaching this goal, we will need to give you a brief overview of what the collaboration between GIZ, Pakistan, UNU, and GCISC is regarding the project, the ongoing project that we have. And for that, we invited the project manager at UNU, Mr. Aikebere, and he will provide you with some information of how the project, what the project will cover, and how it relates with the community of practice. Aike, please.
Thank you so much, Alvaro. Yeah, first of all, also from my side, many thanks to GCISC and GIZ for making today's launch possible, and also for creating this very productive environment with so many experts around today. I would like to briefly introduce our collaborative project between UNU EHS and GIZ, titled Improving Climate Governance in Pakistan, Comprehensive Climate Risk Assessments and Development of Sectoral Guidelines. This almost 2-year-long project is designed to enhance climate governance through a very solid foundation of robust climate risk analytics and actionable adaptation strategies. And this project will serve as the first cornerstone of today's newly established Pakistan Climate Resilience Network, really emphasizing our joint commitment towards capacity building, knowledge exchange, and also actionable climate resilience solutions. Let me highlight 3 aspects over the coming months that the project will deliver. First of all, we will deliver region-specific climate risk assessments for flood and drought in Punjab and KP, using participatory and open source modeling frameworks such as the Economics of Climate Adaptation framework and the Climada modeling platform. We will, together with our local partners, identify adaptation investment needs and pathways for implementation, resulting in the development of sectoral guidelines specifically tailored for high priority sectors in Punjab and KP. And as mentioned before by Dr. Souvinet, starting next week here in Bonn, Germany, we will kick off a dedicated training of trainers program on Climata for sophisticated climate risk analytics with selected experts from Pakistan to enhance their technical skills and creating, more importantly, also sustainable model for ongoing knowledge transfer within and among Pakistan's entities focusing on climate resilience. I'm also very happy to see the Pakistan Climate Resilience Network being launched today, as it will further amplify also national climate efforts by really fostering critical exchanges between Pakistan's leading climate science entities, practitioners, policymakers, and hopefully also more stakeholders. And it will also further facilitate and transfer innovative solutions that can be effectively integrated into existing national and also local policy frameworks. This was just to give you an overview how the community of practice lounge is being embedded in the efforts we are doing together with GIZ at the moment. And yeah, with that, I wish us a successful launch of the Pakistan Climate Resilience Network and really look forward to many inspiring, fruitful exchanges in the months and years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ike. So yeah, as you can see, this is a larger project. UNU, GIZ, and GCIC are collaborating in a larger project that aims at bringing these guidelines for resilience in the agricultural sector in particular, but other sectors as well between the KP and the Punjab region. And in addition to that, we wanted to, as it was explained before, build this community of practice to leverage and support this knowledge that, in resilience and experience and expertise that the country already has, because we found that a lot of the work that we want to do has already been done in a very high quality. So we want to build on what is already built and not create redundancies or duplicate efforts. Can we move to the next slide, please? So the community of practice, so the Pakistan Climate Resilience Network. The objective of the community is to bring together practitioners, researchers, and stakeholders working on climate resilience in Pakistan and foster collaboration and knowledge exchange, amplifying the impact of members' work across the country. Sanaula, sorry, are you raising your hand? Sorry. No, that's okay. Maybe I take advantage of this just to remind colleagues that you are able to access the question and answer component or option within the webinar. We will collect some of your questions and try to address them in the spot that we have for this later on. You can also vote for which are the questions that are more popular. I see already there is a question regarding the tools that we're going to use. But if you have any question at any point, please feel free to add them there. And we do have colleagues looking into that at the moment. So I come back. The context a bit on the community of practices that we were at the beginning. We thought of an opportunity to enhance the work we were doing at UNU and with GIZ would be to provide some capacity development. We had, as Maxime said, we have a CDR5 and climate disaster risk finance and insurance training that we wanted to provide via webinars and others. And within discussions with GIZ and GCISC, the idea of the community of practice came across. And given the wide network of experts in the country, we thought this could be a golden opportunity to also offer to extend the platform. and make it a regular opportunity for anybody that wanted to share their knowledge, updates, or experiences that they have in resilience in the country. Also to allow other colleagues, maybe in different institutions in the public sector or academia, or people that are just starting here, as Maxime also said at the beginning, in starting in the sector, to reach out to each other and say, hey, I've also worked on this, or I would be interested in understanding better how that could benefit, or how can that leverage certain opportunities that I have already identified. So with that objective in mind, we decided to organize this community of practice, focus on the work done in Pakistan. You might know of many other similar networks, for example, that work globally or regionally, but we thought this was an opportunity of something new. Also, part of the study or the project that we're going to bring includes risk analysis and adaptation analysis. And we also see that many of these studies or work that have been done before already exists and is very high quality. So we thought through the community of practice, we could also reach out to those colleagues that are working on these topics so we can find synergies and not duplications, as I was saying. The community of practice Pak-CRN is focused on three main areas: facilitating lasting connections, sharing knowledge and innovation, and highlighting progress in climate resilience. So the first focus area basically aims at, through the tools that we will present right after and in the next slide, just being able to highlight and showcase the work that different colleagues are doing. So through a LinkedIn page, through a newsletter, and also through webinar series, colleagues will be able, or members of the network will be able to say, hey, this is my work, this is a new publication that I got, or we're attending this conference, or this conference will take place in this region, or we have collecting data on this type of or something else. And then the idea is that this provides the opportunity for direct exchange and hopefully building these lasting connections. Sharing knowledge and innovation. Pakistan is a country of big developments and big innovation. And we've seen that very firsthand in the field of resilience building to climate extreme events. Sorry. And we thought this could be the right platform from colleagues to say in different formats to share the findings and the new developments and the new endeavors that are taking place. And finally, highlighting progress in climate resilience. We often hear what is needed, but not what projects have accomplished. It's often hard to find how things are progressing, or the things that are maybe not working the way we expect, and lessons learned, for example. And we thought this could also be a platform to say, hey, for example, I don't know, in Islamabad, we have implemented such and such measure and it's working well, or it could be improved in a certain way. So having these opportunities for exchange, we think could provide, could help support resilience in the country. Can we move to the next one? Slide. Thank you. The benefits of the community of practice, we also see them in three groups. The first one is, as I said, network and collaboration. So members will be able to connect with professionals across disciplines and sectors working on climate resilience in the full country. So we know that there is a lot of regional and local expertise. And we know by experience, not only in Pakistan, but in many other countries, that sometimes keeping regular discussions is not very easy. So we would like to facilitate that access to each other's work. Share and access updates on relevant projects, workshops, conference on latest research. Again, the research body in Pakistan is quite rich. And we know that very often as researchers ourselves in UNU, we know that sometimes these papers or this academic work doesn't get the visibility that we would wish for. So we are hoping this community of practice would allow researchers to communicate to practitioners and say, hey, this is some work that we have done. These are some findings that we think could be relevant for the work that you're doing. Knowledge sharing and learning. For this, we have structured webinar series, and we will explain about them very briefly. But the idea behind them is to provide free webinars like the one you're attending right now. It can also be a workshop. It can also be online, mainly online, but hopefully in the future in-person activities. in which you can access the work or can showcase your work. So again, we're gonna present a webinar series on CDRFI, climate disaster risk finance and insurance, and this is linked to an already existing MOOC, a massive online course that UNU developed a couple of years back. But this would provide an additional layer, an additional value in that not only you could access the MOOC, but also you can discuss with experts live working on this issue. So the idea is to bring something that already exists or work that is already developing and make it more accessible to different colleagues, as opposed to just leave it maybe in a database or somewhere hanging that may be harder to notice for others. Access to tailored training programs and courses for professionals. This was also named by both Ike and Maxime. We're gonna have training of trainers in the modeling tool we use for the assessments that we do. This tool is called Climata. It is a probabilistic modeling tool that was developed by a university in Switzerland. And we're gonna have some national experts from, this is an open source tool, so everybody can download it. But we're gonna bring some experts for a 4 non-consecutive week training. 2 are gonna be in Bonn, 2 in Islamabad. And these train colleagues would be in the country, based in the country, and will be able to both use the tool and also look into results that come from this. So we know, for example, there's this GRMA, the Global Risk Modeling Alliance, that is also going to provide some results in the country using likely Climata or a similar tool. So we're happy that there will be local experts that already know how the tool works and are able to also follow and scrutinize and scale up and adjust any result that they receive in that regard. Finally, resource access and professional development. Again, we're going to use newsletters to highlight any announcement. This newsletter, we're going to invite members to provide input. So this is not going to be our newsletter exclusively. So we're going to provide updates on our project, but we're going to invite other colleagues to come and tell us, hey, our project, or I have a publication, or I would like to share information about such and such efforts that are going on. And we will share that both using through LinkedIn page, but for those that are not maybe very familiar with the platform or rather use email or is easier for them, we would send a regular newsletter in which some of this information will come for you to also look into it. Yeah, and well, we are going to have all training materials, including this webinar, will be available there for you to download and check if you're not able to join live to this session. Can we move to the next slide, please? The tools again. So this is something that we have already briefly linked to the objectives before. So we will have a LinkedIn page. At the end of this presentation, we will provide the QR code where you can access and look for us on LinkedIn. There is going to be a newsletter that we haven't decided quite yet how regular you will receive it, but this is also going to be based on the demand of the members, and the webinar series. I'm going to give further details on the webinar series after this slide. But the LinkedIn page, for those of you who are familiar with it, is a professional, free and accessible space for engagement, discussion, and networking. There are going to be some, we are not going to be the only one posting there. Everybody who joins is free to post. We will have a very simple curation opportunity. So in case some inappropriate material or something comes in, we will kick it out. But except for that, you are free to share with us any information that you want to regarding climate resilience in the country or in specific regions, specific cities. We're very happy to see this comes from a variety of experts we're inviting here today and in some of others activities. So we have engineers, we have people working in the social science, we have people working with biodiversity, topics like gender. So we have a wide range of experts here that we want to bring together. And then, of course, that hopefully will also support with visibility to the work that is ongoing. The newsletter, again, is a digital tool. We will invite inputs and then we will share it with colleagues just for you to know what are the updates in a different format. We would like this to be complementary from the LinkedIn page and, again, the webinar series. Can we, next slide, please? On the webinar portfolio, we have already confirmed this 7 topics. These 7 themes will be covered between now and 2026. I think it's important to say that the project, as Ike was saying, it's almost 2 years, GIZ and UNU. However, this community of practice is designed to last longer. So once, even if the workshop, if the collaboration ends or continues in a different way, GCISE will still have and GIZ will still have access to the community of practice and will be able to continue this. This first round of webinars are, it's a selection that we did with a network of experts that come from different, again, backgrounds and cover these topics. First, the CDRFI, this will be provided by UNU, but the rest, for example, climate action for sustainable future, updates in planning commission performance, bridging science and policy, climate change adaptation, in mitigation, waste to wealth, urban flood resilience, and enabling environment for risk-informed development. These will be provided by other experts, Pakistani experts. So that is also a very big added value that we wanted to underscore. This is not going to be people from another country presenting knowledge that maybe is not context appropriate. All of the work that will be shared here will be a mix of national or international experts that know the Pakistan context and are working in the national context. So the information would be relevant for you. And the webinars will be providing different formats. So some of them will be just one session, 2 hours. Others will have more sessions. Others will be much more interactive. But in this session, they would very often tease a more complex topic and will link this to further knowledge or further resources that you can go later and check on depending on your interest in the issue. So for example, again, for the CDRFI workshop, there is a complete MOOC with, I understand, 15 lessons that UNU and MCII developed a couple of years back. But we are not going to be able to cover everything in the CDRFI webinar series. However, we're going to be able to tease some of the most important topics. And for those who are interested, the material will be available for them to look deep dive into it. We will have quarterly updates with on the courses. So every 3-4 months, we will come up with we will update what are the sessions and the dates of those sessions. But we have already a tentative timeline to share with you. And then the idea is to have continuous learning through shared materials and expert discussions. So the idea is that this knowledge will be accessible to a diverse group, right? Some of these trainings will come for specific groups, so they will require certain understanding already. Some of them will be for a more public audience, so we really invite you to engage and also in the future offer to participate or to provide one of these webinars yourself if you choose to join the community of practice, which is again a good way to showcase progress, for example, in certain project or in certain research that you're doing, offering a webinar of 2 hours to the community of practice and saying, hey, we're working in this case with water, or we're working in this case, I don't know, focused on droughts or livestock or tourism, and we would like to showcase the theory, the conceptual background behind this, and we would like you to get involved as well. So the learning is not just the results or the recommendations, but other practitioners can involve with it. We also really encourage that after these sessions, people are able to reach out to each other, have some validation exchanges and other options there. And next slide, please. This is a tentative timeline. Our goal, as we said, would be to start already with the training of trainers in Bonn. This is going to start next week. This training of trainers will have a second session in September next year, February 2026, and June 2026. The first 2 sessions in Bonn are already booked, so we already have the participants selected. There was a call that GCISC did on their website for CVs for that particular training. However, the sessions in Islamabad will include other colleagues that can join as well there. So this is particularly on the tool of Climata, the modeling tool Climata. The rest of the sessions are will be confirmed in the coming weeks. The exact dates in which these trainings will come. You can see the CDRFI trainings around August, from August to October. But you can see other topics there, the other themes distributed in this tentative timeline. Again, this is something we're currently confirming, but as you can see, our aim is to have at least a monthly webinar. That will be, the invitation will be disseminated through the list of members that register for the community of practice, but also the recordings will be available online. We kindly invite you to share if some of your colleagues were unable to join today, for example. If you are willing or interested to share the community, the links of the community of practice, we're happy to see you, to invite you to do so. We will provide them at the end of this presentation. Finally, I think we wanted to discuss the topic of the assessment framework. So this is an approach that we wanted to offer to the community of practice regarding monitor, evaluation, and learning. So we were something that it's often happens with this training is that there is often not enough of a follow-up to understand what was useful, what wasn't useful, how things can improve. And given that we have a long-term vision for the community of practice, we wanted this to be integrated since the beginning. So all of the webinars you will attend, and that is the advantage of doing that live, will include some surveys, some polling, some using diverse tools that will cover these 4 levels. There's this Kirkpatrick model that is usually more common in the corporate world, but we wanted to, but it's also been tested in this type of community, so we wanted to use it here as well. That covers 4 levels: reaction, learning, behavior, and results. Basically, this will cover in the short term how much you could engage with the content that you receive, and in the middle term, if that provided some benefits to you. Next slide, please. We wanted to clarify, though, that this model will not be used to rank in any way the webinar. So we wanted, for those of you who in the future want to offer them yourself, you can reach out to us and we would be happy to schedule them and support you as needed. But then we wanted to say that this tool is not meant to say this webinar was more successful or less successful than the other. We know the topics are different. We know the participants are different. We know the conditions of the days are not always the same. This is meant as a tool to learn from past experiences. So if we were to provide the CDRFI training again, I don't know, in 2026 or in 2027, we would be able to come back and see how did the audience and the participants reacted to it. Please, next slide. So now, and as we are coming close to the end of the session, we have a series of questions here that we would like to add. If somebody else wants to add some questions, we only have, unfortunately, something around 12 minutes to address these questions, so we'll be brief. Yeah, and I also invite other colleagues of the panel if you want to participate. So will these modeling tools data be open source as well? So the tools for the project indeed is Climata is open source, and the data, some of it comes from public sources, some other is shared by other colleagues. So the data itself will be hosted, but I'm not sure if all of it will be shared. However, the model itself will be available. The collaboration as well, as how will this collaboration take place, like what will be the source. So the idea of the collaboration is that both on LinkedIn you will see what other colleagues are publishing in terms of like the advancements of the projects or the publications they made or the conferences in which they are invited and participating, and then through LinkedIn you can directly chat with them, join them, or follow them. So that would be a way of collaboration, and we encourage colleagues to exchange with each other. Currently, the community of practice will be mostly moderated online, but we would aim in the not so long term to also be able to maybe offer some opportunities for exchange in person. How can we volunteer and be part of this? Maybe Connor, if you can show the next slide, you can already start accessing the links. We have 2 of them. On the left, you have the registration link for those of you who are already part of, sorry, on the right hand on the LinkedIn page. So for those of you who are members of LinkedIn, you can just join there and you can very easily join the group on LinkedIn. Currently, it just has a few colleagues because it's the soft launch is today. However, we invited both to join, for you to join and share it with other colleagues. This will be as alive as you want to make it, as much you want to participate, and we invite you to use it. On the left hand, you have the registration link. We also have a Question Pro link for the community of practice. And this one would make you part of our mailing list. So you will receive further information if you register here. How to join? This is the second question. For those of you, I see we also have colleagues here that are already raising their hand and are interested in collaborating and supporting. We're very happy to hear that. In the link on the registration on the left, you will find questions on how you want to engage or what you want to expect from it. So please feel free to add to these questions any comment on ideas that you would have. Specific concrete ideas that you could see or you could imagine contributing with, and we will be happy to reach out to you later on. We also have a colleague asking about the long-term sustainability of the project when it comes to an end. So UNU, the idea of having 3 hosts, so GIZ, GCISC, and UNU initiating the community of practice, is that once, for whatever reason, one of the organizations completes its work in the country or so on and so forth, the rest are able to continue both with the LinkedIn page, the newsletter, and organizing these webinars, and even in the future in-person events, right? So this is meant to be long-lasting. These are only initiator organizations. We would be open in the future if other organizations would like to join, not just as an individual member, but as an organization. We could explore that possibility as well, and we would be happy. This is a dynamic platform, and we don't aim at making just one thing. We would be happy to see if, I don't know, ministries or other organizations later on raise their hand and say we would also like to be an active member. Given that many networks are established but often lose their viability over time, what measures are in place to ensure this network continue its function? So I think this is a related question. I think at the end of the day, the community of practice will only be as sustainable as it becomes useful. So that is where we have several platforms for feedbacks. That's where we would like to have regular engagement. These are not trainings that are going to be provided by us exclusively, so by the members themselves. So the more value that we can give to the community of practice, the more sustainable it will make. I think some of these things cannot be, I don't know, forced or improvised. Some of these things really need to come from the community itself. So this is a bet that we're giving as a project for supporting the resilience building efforts in the country. But of course, at the end of the day, it will only be as successful as your active collaboration allows for. I see there are already colleagues offering some codes, and there is some work that they already would like to showcase. We invite you to do so on LinkedIn, but if you received the invitation from our official email address, so if you would like to give us more detail to this email address, we would be happy as well to maybe reach out to you and ask you for access on this. And then how the other organizations contribute to the themes and intervention publication in the newsletter. So on LinkedIn, you're free to post. So if you have a LinkedIn account, you can freely post there and just provide us with the information that you find and links that you find relevant to it. As we said, there's going to be a minimum curation from our side. So we will kick out everything that it's not related to resilience building, actually to adaptation, to risk reduction, to related efforts. Or every content that we deem inappropriate. If there's some effort related, for example, to mitigation, loss and damage, other climate-related topics, of course, they're welcome to be there. But every topic, every contribution that we deem inappropriate will be kicked out. But except for that, everything is welcome. You're free to add there, invite to webinar, invite to events that you're organizing, completely open in that regard. Regarding the topics for the webinars, we will welcome, in the future, we will also share with you a link a format for webinars, and you are free just to come back to us and say, hey, I would like to provide a webinar. This would be the format that I could imagine having it through. This is the scope, the objective, the target audience, and we will reach back to you to coordinate on that. As I said, for now, we have these themes that we presented, but we are happy to include others. We will have, for example, one topic on climate and gender that is not yet part of this list, but we also have confirmation. So we will add it soon, and we will share both on the LinkedIn page and through the newsletter to the members, the dates of the webinars and the times. We see there is under the knowledge sharing pillar of the Pakistan Climate Resilience Network, there are any plans to develop an integrated knowledge management system for registered stakeholder. We're happy to discuss all of these ideas. We're happy to bring to the table. I think the platform that we're offering right now includes this LinkedIn, this web series, and this newsletter. But any other additional service, for example, that you could volunteer to support, for example, a platform from data sharing, document sharing, and others. I know there are already existing efforts in the country. I understand GIZ also has some platforms to doing so. So we would be happy to tap on existing efforts and support. And link them to the community of practice. We have no exclusivity intentions with the community of practice, so we don't have to be directly involved. And if there already exists some tools that you think could feed the community of practice, we'd be happy to integrate it. We receive congratulations. Thank you so much for that. We really are looking forward, as our colleagues said at the beginning of the session, to make a difference and to support. Some of the links are already being shared in the chat. So for those of you who cannot access via QR code, those links, then please feel free to look for them there. I can see there's already a contribution from Dr. Ahmad. This is very, very interesting to look further into that. As I said, we would be happy to extend any invitation regarding the platform from you to showcase the work that you have done and maybe coordinate a way to share this information. Again, the links are being shared at the moment. We already have some colleagues that are already introducing themselves. That is very much welcome. I see the question is also related to the topic of mitigation. We started this community of practice focusing majoritarily, as I said, on adaptation. However, the space for mitigation will also be there. If some colleagues want to share their work regarding mitigation, we're also happy to accommodate some space. I think the network that we've reached out to initially is mostly related to adaptation and resilience, building, risk reduction, and others. I understand there's an interconnection with mitigation there, so we are very happy to extend the platform there. The videos and the material of the recording will be available as well. We will share the links on LinkedIn and later on in the mailing list. There are questions a bit more technical related to data analysis and some gaps. That was part of our study itself, but it was the data gap analysis was concretely regarding the scope of the project. This is something that later on in the community of practice, we will also share progress on that project. We have students here, very much welcome to the community of practice. Everybody is relevant. As I said, I think especially for people starting their careers, this could be a good opportunity to have access to some trainings and to also meet some of the experts working in several fields, resilience related fields in Pakistan. So you're very much welcome to join. And later on, if you have publications or some research that you would like to share, I think this is always welcome. There is no for the training themselves. So for the community of practice, for the training of trainers of Climata, we're working with people that are programmers and that have experience with risk management. This is due to the characteristics of the model itself. But as I said, for the training in Bonn, the applications is closed. These trainings are already happening this year, but we will have 2 in Islamabad, and we will reach out to the community of practice to invite participants to join those that will take place there. Yeah, I really very much encourage those who are introducing themselves. I see there's a big interest on the training of trainers. As I said, that part is for this year is closed, but next year we will reach out to the community. I see there's also an interest in AI and climate change mitigation. Again, if that is a training that somebody would like to offer or a webinar series, we just remind that these webinar series sessions tend to be around 2 hours. So one needs to be mindful of the complexity of the topics that are being covered there. But we are happy to receive any requests for offering a webinar, and we will reach out to you for that purpose. We have 5 minutes left. I tried to rush to all of the questions. I wanted to close by thanking everybody who was involved, the support from GIZ, Mr. Sanaula, of course, but also the colleagues, Dr. Maxime, Mr. Gohir, as well as Dr. Delman, for all the support that you've been giving us. Ike, as well as the project manager, has been a very strong force to move this forward. And my colleague, Connor Lindenberg, who has been the mastermind behind all of this that you've seen today. This is a community of practice for everybody. We know very much that there is a high level of expertise and knowledge, and a lot of efforts have been already done in the country. And this is our way to say we are not reinventing the wheel. What we want to do is leverage and align the efforts that we're doing to make a positive impact and provide an added value to all of these efforts. So we saw some maybe concerns of some of the colleagues in the chat regarding the sustainability of the community of practice. This will strongly depend on the engagement that we are able to reach from the participants of it. So we invite you that if this is something that sounds good to you and that you would like to be part of, please register in the community of practice. Please join our LinkedIn page and disseminate. Tell your friend, your colleagues, other students, other people who want to be involved. This is happening. This is something that we see a future for, and we would like to take part of it. You will receive very soon those who registered the list of webinars that are coming between now and 2026. And we will start receiving requests as well for those who would be willing or interested in providing such webinars later on. And we will also inform you from the details of how to provide input from the newsletter themselves, and everybody's welcome to join the LinkedIn page. So I don't want to go longer than what we said. I know in Pakistan it's around lunchtime now, so we don't want to take more time from that. We appreciate your time. The recordings would be made available. And for all of you who took the time, thank you so much from UNU and the full Pak-CRN community of practice. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alvaro.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Alvaro.